In that little girl's eyes, he was still alive. A father figure deprived of a better life. Justified a suicide with a needle and lack of pride. He'd rather get jacked up than stand by his daughter's side. And yet he tried to survive. For just one day, he hoped he had the power to fight. But no hope, it died, and he fell to that fight. With the belt round his left and the tool in his right. A tear lays in his eye as he gazes at the light. Proceeds to find the vein, but the tears blind his sight. And with one thing on his mind as he grips that tool tight. I love you, baby girl, but I need this in my life. She screams loud with her cries, but nobody answers why. Just the motionless body of the father by her side. There's no chance he's alive. That was 3 hits at a time. So now the girl's an orphan at the tender age of 9. I'll never be afraid. I'll never be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. I won't be afraid. Now 6 years have passed with 6 families at last. She seems to have settled down, starts to blur out the past. But suddenly she's in a mask, taped up in a car. All she hears the talking of 2 guys as they laugh. She can't see and it's dark, she can't breathe as they start to undress her all the way. She feels the coldness of their palms. She tries to move her arms, but the pain takes charge. All she can do is lay there and hope it's over fast. Now those 2 men are at large and the police say it's too hard. There's just not enough evidence, but the pain is in her scars. So she stares up at the stars, feeling lonely and outcast, wishing herself a happy birthday with her own card. She's got a broken heart, no longer can she feel calm. All she does is grasp the picture, the photo of her mum, and mutters the words, I miss you so much. All I want in my life is someone who will show me love. I'll never be afraid. I'll never be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. I won't be afraid. Now that girl is 23 on the wrong scene, selling herself on the streets and a drug habit to feed. With a child on her sleeve, she feels so mean, just like her mother and father with no belief. She doesn't want to eat, all she wants to do is keep injecting into the same spot, so now she can't breathe. She drops down to her knees, lost the balance from her feet. The open wound starts to bleed, here comes eternal sleep. But just enough time to open her eyes and see her little boy fast asleep there within the sheets. Just like her dad, she was laying with ease, ready to die and end her life, just run away and leave. She screams, take me away, please, I wanna dream. My son doesn't deserve to see the life I've seen. Now that son is 17, with nothing as his memory, falling through the sky so free, that's the end of the family. I'll never be afraid. I'll never be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. I won't be afraid. Be afraid. Until the end of your days, never be afraid. No, never be afraid. No, never be afraid. Your mind's going insane, but never be afraid. No, never be afraid. No, never be afraid. There's always ways to escape, so never be afraid. No, never be afraid. No, never be afraid. Cause we can make it to the end, so don't be afraid. No, never be afraid. No, never be afraid. There's a meaning to what I say, so don't be afraid. No, never be afraid. No, never be afraid. There's always a better day, so don't be afraid.